Here we go. Hey, welcome to JW Fusion. I'm Dr. James H. Carpenter Barnes, and I'm here with
Wendy B.
Dr. James and Wendy B. You're going to enjoy this show. We've got some very awesome people,
Very special people.
very dear people. We had to have them on.
Yeah.
Son James Marcus and his lovely wife Kelly. And we're going to be talking about their vacation in Cancun. The wonderful time they had, how great it was.
They just had that one part where
and that one part,
a little bit uncomfortable.
which is not uncommon.
Right.
Because I've experienced that. I've been at work having lunch.
I have too, yes.
With co-workers, just having lunch.
Yeah.
And getting stares like you got three heads.
Yeah.
Because I'm African American and they're Caucasian.
Yeah.
And we eat lunch. And wait a minute. At that time, I'm environmental specialist. I got on a uniform, a badge, and we all got on the same uniform.
Those are your honeys.
And they're looking like, and they're pointing.
Yeah,
and
so that's what they were
faces.
saying. So you guys were in Mexico for
5 nights?
5 nights.
5 nights.
and typically, because I've asked you guys before, have you ever had that instance where people are staring or, get attitude and you said it didn't bother you, but now, Kelly, what happened?
It hasn't been in a while that it's bothered me.
Wait, you guys have been together how long?
10 years. We're going on 9 years married.
Okay, go ahead.
So we got stares in the beginning in usually a melting pot area, which is Hyde Park.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually not an issue, but it was an issue then. It bothered me because I have a short temper, maybe, sometimes.
You? No.
But I'm like, I can't act out, in the streets like that. So whatever, try to be a better person. But in Mexico, we were having a good time, redoing a vacation, enjoying each other's company and not having our little ones interrupt us. And it was nice, uninterrupted husband-wife time. So we were at a little bar there and women walked in. And we were like, oh, okay, awesome. More women like our age. Because we noticed.
What kind of women, Kelly?
It was 2 black women, and it was like, okay, hi, like kind of like the hi, how you doing? Well, they were filming the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They were
on their phones.
They were on their phones on their
okay.
live, and I'm like, oh, okay. But they were more interested in pointing at my husband and myself
On the live?
on the live because they had their phones set up
Oh.
on the table in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh, I don't know if you're looking for a reaction
Yeah.
or whatever, but I'm like, that's not going to be me, right now. Right now, anyways. But
maybe later.
yeah, but you could tell that there was obviously pointing and comments, and it was like, okay, is this towards him, towards me? Like, what is it? But it stuck with me that night and the next morning, and I didn't want it to bother me, but it did.
So did it bother you more because it bothered you, which made it worse?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's annoying me because it's bothering me because I never let it bother me, and it's bothering me today in paradise.
So how'd you feel, Jimmy?
I said, let it go. It's normal. I didn't care.
So how's it normal to you? Because I don't see
they
the
were
normal.
I think they were focusing on her.
Okay.
They were looking at me like, look at that good looking man. I'm not being vain. Look at this good looking man.
Good looking.
And they kept pointing and mean mugging, like eye rolling. Like,
Wow. See, I've had coworkers, male coworkers that we've gone to lunch with, or like one of my friends, he was very affectionate, and he was well dressed, all the things smell good, and when you see him, he'd hug and kiss you on the cheek, and you'd feel this hush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And because it was not my life, I would go in hug me harder,
Yeah.
But I was like, what is the big deal? What is wrong with you?
Right.
And you said you were at work in uniform.
Yeah. I've had it happen when I was in my 20s. A young lady that I'd met through a grammar school friend. We went to this one place, and when we walked in, everything stopped.
Yeah.
Like,
you feel it.
Yeah, it's like every eye in the room went on us. Because at that time, I was still playing music. So I had real long hair, and she was like 6 feet, blonde, really attractive. And we just hanging out, having fun. And every eye in the room, it was kind of like in 48 Hours when Eddie Murphy walked into the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, a vacuum happened.
Yeah,
the music stopped, everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
it was kind of like that. But you would think that nowadays that wouldn't be the case. You would think that people would be more accepting of who people choose to be with, as opposed to allowing social media or, you know.
Now, in your scenario, was more of the attention from Black women? Or
No,
just the
it
whole
was
group?
just about everybody in the place was Caucasian.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I find more Black women, because they say, there are no good Black men. They're in jail. They're, gay.
27 kids.
They're no good. And then the white woman takes the rest.
You don't see the same visceral reaction when it's flipped, though.
Exactly. It's okay
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy, since you brought it up.
That's a good point.
Unpack that a little bit.
Got any bags?
You got it.
I can't tell you why.
No, what do you mean for people who are like, what does that mean flipped?
So when it's the other way around, go on, girl,
what a white man is with a Black woman.
Get your white king.
Get your white king. But when it's the other way around, it's like, well, there's a shortage of successful Black men.
Exactly. High value Black men.
But then too, with that being said, we go back to when we've had to be in the South, and you would think we're going back in time.
Mm-hmm.
And all we did was go to a different time zone, but it seems like a different world when we're in Georgia. When we get that, and it's like,
it's worse south.
It's worse south.
Wow. She went to visit me when I was in inspector training down in Georgia. And this old white guy walked past her and said, "What the F?"
Like, he did not like to us directly.
Wow. How did you handle that?
I don't know. I ain't nothing down there.
Yeah, not
Well, you know what? I experienced
We're good.
No.
I experienced that with coworkers. When this same friend of mine, when I was working at this place, she came by there one night, and she was standing outside waiting, and everybody was wondering, well, who is she waiting on? And when I came out, and she, hugged me, and this one guy, he had a fit. Now, he's a little short troll-looking dude that if she looked at him, she would miss him. But he was really upset. Another guy actually said, she must be a lowlife or something. If she's with him, it must be something wrong with her.
Oh, wow.
And so in this nation, racial issues still exist. And either they do exist or they don't. You know what I mean? And so they're like, the average person is accepting of who a person chooses. But then you have some other people who are not accepting, which I don't think it's their business.
I was about to say it's not their business.
I've always said that.
Yeah.
How's it hurting you?
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be attracted to you anyway, so it's okay that I'm not with you.
Not only that.
Oh.
I don't have to justify who
my decisions. Exactly.
The thing is,
but they kind of expected, because I bet you they expected you in Mexico. They're like, what is this?
Right.
But the thing is, I'm not with you.
And it wasn't the people there. It wasn't the staff. It wasn't anyone had an issue.
White people.
It was just these two women, and then which ended up being 5 women. And it was, it was just like, this shouldn't bother me. But is it me that bothers you? Or are you mad at yourself because you don't have what I have?
It could be a combination, but it doesn't. That's not. It's still not your business.
It's not. It's not. But I've also I've told my husband, like, maybe I wasn't what you thought you would end up with, but I would never be that person either that says, "Oh, I don't see color," because that makes me stupid.
I hate it when
people.
I don't see color.
I hate it when people say that.
Then that makes no sense.
I had to correct a dear friend of mine during that time where it was the COVID and the racial unrest. And she's an Italian white woman, and she's like, "Well, I don't see color." I'm like,
How you gonna not see color?
No, you can't say that.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well," and I know her. We've known each other almost 30 years. And I said, "You can't say that because that's the cliche. Yeah. You're telling me if I didn't drop you off on 79th and King Drive, you wouldn't notice a little something different. You would. So you can see color. You cannot judge by color. Right. But don't say." And then she goes, "Well, Wendy, you're my best friend." You can't say that either.
No.
I have a black friend.
I have a black friend.
You can't say that.
You can count them. You know how many. That's a problem.
But there are a lot of white people who don't understand why they can't say that. Because if she didn't have me as a friend, I'm sure no one else would have said that to her.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's things you can. I said, I need you to just erase them out of your vocabulary.
But you know what? I have actually asked friends of mine that are Caucasian, ladies, I asked, could you date an African American man? And they thought about it, and they said, I personally wouldn't have a problem with the person, but the social pressure I could not handle.
Yeah. And that's why I've never dated. I've never dated out.
I think
had
there are
white
more
friends say,
people-
Wendy, would you date me? I'm like, I can't. Because
Yeah.
I'm too quick to punch people in their face.
There's a lot of pressure for that not to happen.
Yeah.
So I've always said that interracial couples are courageous, are very courageous,
strong. Yeah.
and they have to have a strong relationship.
Yeah.
Because that external pressure from the world system, all the hatred, all the bigotry, all the prejudice, all the bias, it's a force that forces that couple together, or it will pull them apart.
Yeah.
Because that's how strong that spirit of hate. It's a spirit.
Yeah.
It's an evil energy.
And it's through the generations.
And it is.
Yeah.
It's an evil energy that's in society. It's in the air, and it's built in to the music, the movies, social media. You hear about it over and over and over again. And there's this one activist who actually says, if you are a black man and you don't have a black wife, or you're married to a woman who's not an African American woman, you have no voice in black issues.
That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even sound intelligent to me.
That eliminates so many different significant people that have made contributions to the advancement of African American people. And I won't go down the list, but there are many African American actors who have Caucasian wives, and I think they face that pressure. But your love has to be stronger, and that's the problem.
And that's what it should be about. It's about the love.
Exactly. The whole thing, the issue is not about black and white. It's the absence of love and the ability to respect love because you don't have it in you. You have to have that love in you to be able to not allow external pressure to sway you and to poison your worldview.
And it's always black and white, because you'll see an Asian person with a white person. You'll see a Hispanic person with, a black person. And that pressure may still be there, but it's not as heavy as a black and a white person.
It's not the same. It's a seed that's been planted to create. Let me tell you what it is. It's a mechanism that has been used to keep whites and blacks separated.
But it's not going to happen.
But the thing is, it's not to keep the race pure. It's not to protect.
That's what they say it is.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not to protect the sanctity of the white female from the overpowering strength of a black man. It's to prevent the races from realizing, wait a minute, we're not each other's enemy.
Yeah.
This world system is our enemy.
Yeah.
And they're using racism and prejudice and bigotry to keep us divided and focused on wars between each other. As
in a lot
opposed
of cases,
to,
it works, unfortunately.
but see, we often miss the fact that we're getting shafted by the government on a regular. We're getting shafted by the system. You're getting cheated. You're overcharged. You're overtaxed. You're underpaid. And you're so busy focusing on look at what they're doing.
The distraction.
It's a distraction.
So I have a question, and I've always heard this from mixed race people. Mixed race, black and white, because, they don't feel like they're black enough. They're not accepted by blacks. And you have 2 mixed race children. 3. I'm sorry. And then how do you see that happening with them? Or is it, to me, it seems like we have more of a melting pot happening now with the younger generations. How would you handle it, or have you had to handle black people not accepting them because they're not black enough, or then white people like they're not white enough?
Well,
and truth be told, because you're a minority.
Well, I'm Mexican. I'm Mexican
Yeah.
and Irish.
But you shouldn't have to explain that.
No.
But society sees white.
Right. That's what they see. And so they talk to me and they're like, I do.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I think I'm more defensive for my husband and my children. to the point where my husband's like, it's okay, you can chill. But I'm always on, like, I'm always ready.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always prepared.
Wow.
Because
Always ready.
Always, I stay ready. And it's like, what's bad is political, what you see, what's spewed out there on social media and what the news puts out and this and that. So when everything happened in the height of COVID, on the height of Black Lives Matter, like all this stuff, people were missing the message. It wasn't, oh, I'm Black, so let me riot. I said, if that's what your mind is telling you, that every person is like this, you are shutting yourself off.
Yeah.
You do not sound smart right now.
Yeah.
But then when you say, all Black people do this, but I don't mean you, James.
Yes. You're different.
What do you mean?
Oh, you're different.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you sound smart. For what? You don't finish that sentence.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mean you.
Right.
I mean all the other Black men.
Man.
What?
Yeah.
Like, but if this is what you're hoping for, this is what you're saying, like people are quick to defend other people, and I don't want to get real political at all, but it's like you see it and you hear what your people say, and it's like, do you hear yourself?
Because you, I'm sure, hear things that people wouldn't say around us.
100%.
Yeah.
And to me, see, I think of it where it's like, you can't say, oh, I don't mean these group of people. I mean these group of people. And I'm like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
There's no difference.
Yeah.
But if you're going to talk ill about that, understand that I will call you on it regardless.
Yeah.
Because
it takes more of that.
You're talking about my husband and my children.
Yeah.
Who you love to death, but you want to say, oh, these people deserve it.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Tell me what the difference is.
Even Matthew, Matthew is almost 23 and he was raised in a white neighborhood. So he talks white.
And I've had
people say, you should take him to the hood and toughen him up. I'm like, well, how does that make sense? If it's a good mother in the hood, and we're from the inner city, a good mother wants their child to be better, to be in a better space. But now I'm going to take him back because it makes you uncomfortable, because he can enunciate, because he doesn't use the Black Ebonics, right? He talks very intelligently. You think you're talking to a white person on the phone, but I thought I'm like, he's going to be better going out in society because he speaks this way.
Right. You know what? I grew up in Inglewood. I grew up in the hood.
Yeah, and I was just outside.
I was 14. I was 13. I got drafted into a gang. I won't say which gang, but and I didn't want my kids growing up
exactly
where I grew up.
Right.
I didn't want them growing up like I did.
Yeah.
I wanted my kids to have opportunities I didn't.
Right.
You know, and so I set an example for them. I lived a certain way in front of them. When I was a single parent with James and Margaret, I'd have a bunch of women coming in and out of the house.
Yeah.
I wasn't dating a bunch of women.
Yeah.
And so I used to hear guys bragging about, yeah, man, my house is a revolving door. And your son's watching that.
Doesn't sound smart.
You know, that's not a good example.
How do you say that with your chest stuck out? That's crazy.
You don't.
But yeah, I grew up too. I you know, you would like to tell people I beat up I fought all the time.
She beat up the whole
Every time my mother turned around like you was in a fight. I'm like, yeah, because you in my face. And I know in this neighborhood, if I allow you to continue to bully me, then I got problems.
Yeah.
So now I got to punch you in the face.
Well, we've discussed that with our little ones because, you know, they're in martial arts and we take it very serious. And I said, and it's not for the laugh of it. They take it very serious because I said, you have to learn how to defend yourself. Yeah. Not everyone out here is going to feel how me and your father do.
Yeah.
Not everyone is accepting, which is a sad thing, which they've gone through in school. Our 8-year-old was told, she asked her classmate, can I borrow your black marker? This 8-year-old little boy looked at her and said, why don't you use your face?
Wow.
An 8-year-old. Wow. So it's like, where are you learning this from?
Home. 100% home.
You weren't born like that.
Yeah.
You were taught that.
Yeah.
So you're going to continue the tradition in your family.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to judge. I don't ever remember that. I was born in 1980. I was born and raised in Humboldt Park. Lived in a very gang-infested area. But our little block, everyone looked out for us. Nice. Puerto Rican, Mexican, black, white, everything was just a melting pot. And it was never, don't go talk to that black family. Nope. guess what? I'm going over there to get my hair done.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And then imagine if the world would get more like that.
And this little Drake and Wabansia was just a melting pot. And it was like, if I'm not at your house, you're at my house. If your
you're safe.
If your parents kicked you out, you can come sleep on our couch. If we can make the world like that neighborhood, we would be so much better.
I know with the midgets, I told them, you know, she's a little hot. You know, she's ready to elbow people.
I am.
Do something.
That's why we love each other.
I know.
Yeah.
Me, I let them recognize they're black, but also you don't want your kids running in the victim Olympics, as I call it.
Yes, we don't like
that.
That's
black,
good,
so
though.
you're as good, if not better, than the same students you go to school with. And I'm really putting that in there because Ava is a little, what do you say? She's very hard on herself.
She's very
self-critical. So
perfection is a must to her. And we have to tell her, like, it's fine to want the most out of yourself, but don't let that be your end all be all. Like, don't do that.
From the mistakes.
And you have to fail in order to appreciate the success.
Yeah.
Because you weren't always down. You got to get back up and not dwell.
And you have to ask her, where's that pressure coming from? It's not from you.
No.
Supposed to be perfect.
Why do you feel you need to be perfect?
Well,
what?
I had the same problem.
I felt the same way. I felt like I had to be better than everybody else. You know, even if I had to do something twice.
Yeah.
You know, where I worked, the guys I worked with, it was only a couple of African American guys in that area when I was a machinist in that area, because we were like, we made as much money as the tool and die people back then, and that was a very elite area of skill as far as trades go, and so they didn't allow African Americans over there. If you came in, you weren't going to be there long. So I determined I had to be as good as the best there. I had to be exceptional, and they accepted me because they saw my diligence and my determination to be just as good, and the attitude that I had. I didn't have an attitude that I hate you or I dislike you because I know how you feel about me or people like me. I couldn't, especially once I became a Christian, it really shifted then, because I had the added force and power of being a spiritual person, a spiritually astute person that understood what the spirit was behind the racism and the bigotry, you know? So listen, let's wrap this thing up because we could do this all day.
Yes.
All day.
All day. All day.
This is so good having you guys here.
So what are your, and what would you like to say? If you could say something, just look at the camera. If you could send a message to America.
To America.
Because it seems that this problem it wasn't present in Europe, but it's becoming more prevalent even in Europe now, the racist thing. But my brother in London, he runs into this problem. So if you could just look at your camera, and if you could say a short message, what would it be?
I would say love is truly blind. And with that being said, don't be blind to the big world that we all are in. And don't let people in to judge your life, because your life is for you and yours. You don't need to explain why. Like, I don't need to explain why I fell in love with my husband. Just know that I did, and we're here, and our children are here. And I hope you at least 1% of the happiness that we have.
That's awesome. Listen.
Well, that's a period right there.
You summed it up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
James and Kelly. I love you guys. You're amazing. You're awesome.
Yeah.
We're
so proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of
So
you.
listen, I'm James H. Carpenter Barnes, and I'm here with...
I am Wendy B.
And this is JW Fuzion, and we'll see you guys next time. Have an amazing day.
Bye.